Hey, it's Chris Doucher for GeekNerdNet.com. I am at the inaugural Fan Expo San Francisco, and I am so happy to be sitting here with the creative duo of Tom King and Mitch Gerads. Hello.
Well, hello. Right. Pleasure.
Oh,
good job.
Thank God.
What wonderful pronunciation.
Nice. Oh my God, you guys. So your breadth of work is like stupid good. When I met you the other night,
stupid, comma good.
Yeah.
Stupid. It's stupid. And occasionally
Wah. We'll continue. So I'd said to the two of you, a friend of mine recommended Sheriff of Babylon because I'd never read it. I kind of want to start there, if you don't mind.
Sure. Wayback Machine.
Yeah, I mean, we know. Talk about the book, please, about that story, and I did read a bit of background on it, but I want to hear from you, like I want how you guys put it together and everything else.
Live podcasting from a con, which apparently is closing at 9 hours.
9 hours.
I may have been signing for 9 hours if I'm talking like this. Sheriff of Babylon was literally the first comic I ever wrote, not the first comic that ever got published, but the first one I wrote. And it was made out of utter desperation. I was a baby novelist, and my novel flopped, and I could not get anyone to buy anything. And I was like, well, I think I have to write about my war experience. And I really didn't want to because it felt very cheap to just kind of do that. But my kids I had 2 kids, and I had to I had to make money at some point. So I swallowed my stupid pride, and I wrote a book that was about my war experience. Couldn't write about it directly because I was in the CIA, so I could write about it sideways through sort of a crime series. But yeah, it's about the time I spent in Baghdad, Iraq in 2004. And the editor was looking for an artist and picked Mitch, who I'd followed as a fanboy. And it was one of the great kisnets of my life. It was awesome.
That is super cool. Mitch?
Yeah, I remember I had just wrapped, or I was about to wrap the 20 issues of Punisher I had done. And Marvel really wasn't offering me anything. They really had me pigeonholed as the military guy at the time. And then DC called and asked if I wanted to do a military book. And I was like, yes. But no, they pitched it. We were just talking about this today. They pitched it as Justified meets Zero Dark 30. And I was in. And then they're like, oh, Tom King's writing it. And I was like, double in.
Of Grayson?
I knew of you through a mutual friend, Tom Fowler.
Oh, yeah.
And
the best.
I was excited, and Tom and I just kind of hit it off from the beginning.
Nice. And then in a story like that, such a personal story, now did you guys immediately, because I know with some creative teams it's just email. Did you guys just hop on a call, hop on a Zoom, like not a Zoom at the time, but hop on a call and just start spitballing ideas like on how to treat it? Or
In the early days, you called me a lot.
I called you a lot?
Yeah.
We talked on the phone a lot?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh. At the time, I was writing Vision, Sheriff, and Omega Men sort of simultaneously.
oh my God.
And I had different relationships with each artist, and yeah, Mitch and I definitely talked the most of those 3.
Yeah. Nice. And, out of the, there's such, like I said at the beginning, such a breadth of work between the two of you, and when it clicks, it just, obviously you both know already, it's just that right thing, and here you are at cons together and doing your thing, and lives kind of intertwined in a sense, right?
Yeah.
Can you talk a bit about the time that we all had to spend apart during the pandemic? Like, how did that? Did it affect? Did it obviously would have changed the working dynamic, or maybe it didn't? Do you want to talk about that?
It affected in that we didn't do shows, so we didn't get to actually see each other.
Yeah.
I remember the great dream was like, can we go to a show and have a drink together?
Yeah,
that was
exactly.
like my vision of paradise at the time.
Yeah.
And now last night we're like, want to go home? Yeah, it's too late. Threw paradise away. That's how fast we've gotten back to normal, which is wonderful in its own way.
Right.
But nothing else super changed. We have this text thread with me and Tom and Clay.
That started during the pandemic.
It
so
did.
That changed.
But me and you texted a million times before that. But
That's
then we
true.
made the big text thread where we added Clay and Doc Shaner, and we texted all day, all night, every day.
Nice.
And you can tell like it reached its point because now nobody writes on that thread.
I write on it.
Me and you do. That's about it.
That's it. Well, the pandemic came in a weird time for us because we had just launched our follow-on. Mr. Miracle had gone over well, and there was all sorts of pressure to follow it up. And we launched our first #1 follow-up, and the pandemic hit, and comics shut down, and there was like a 6-month gap before #2 came out.
Holy
so
shit!
It was right in the middle of that.
Yeah, like you worked on, and this is gonna sound cliche shit, but it is what it is. You worked on so many iconic characters, right? And then I'll jump into Batman and Catwoman. What was that like working on that story for, you got the beautiful deluxe edition here, the one I bought yesterday. But talk a bit about that marriage of ideas, but I'm bummed for them,
for our Batcat special for that one.
Yeah.
Well, that was written for a different artist.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no, it was it was written for John Paul Leon, who passed away during it.
Yeah, and he had drawn the first 13 pages.
Okay.
And
totally got that on that. I'm sorry.
No. I knew JP
and he had done the covers for Sheriff.
Yeah.
So he kind of been a third member of our team at one point.
Yeah.
Right.
And I know Tommy Lee Edwards and Bernard Chang, who were like JP's best friends in the world. And so kind of when he passed, they were going to take it over. They realized it was probably at a time when there was a lot of work. And so Bernard did a few pages, and then I jumped in and finished it up.
Wow.
And changed his whole style to be more sort of, I don't know, JP friendly, but leaning towards JP style.
Yeah, leaning towards it. Yeah.
And you just took my next question. I was going to ask, how was, as an artist, how do you make that shift? Like, is it more just inspiration, and is there more? Meaning behind it for you? Or?
There was so much real, genuine raw emotion doing that book.
Yeah.
Just because JP is not only my favorite artist, but I knew him a little bit, and
right.
It was rough. But I kind of just used that as fuel to finish up that story, and he had done so much work beforehand of the few pages he did and reference and stuff where I knew how I could take it and still lean towards his work.
Nice. That's really nice. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
The only thing we changed in the script was we ended it with JP was a Cuban American. We ended it with a poem, a Spanish poem from a Cuban poet that was sort of about life to honor JP.
Lovely. Shifting gears a bit, since you're coming back to cons, I guess are there any surprises? Or is it just it's the same old in terms of not in a bad way, but just fans gonna be hey, get in the zone of fans are coming up and boom, 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 here we go.
Tom and I did a couple shows right when the pandemic was loosening but not gone. In some ways ramping back up.
I think there's a time in the pandemic, and then then you get the vaccine, and then there was that time before the vaccine, before everyone got COVID, with that Omicron time, when we were all just really nervous.
Yeah.
And then we all just got COVID, and we survived, and we knew we had the vaccine, we'd survive the next one.
Yeah.
And then it got a new level of relaxation.
Yeah, and it's just kind of each one we did, it got more normal, and I don't know, it feels pretty much like how it always did.
Yeah, that's awesome. Holy shit, that's
There's
amazing.
a crazy cosplay.
Now we're watching the most hilarious cosplay go through. Oh my god. This right here, this is what I miss. Shit like this, are you kidding? Random, it's amazing. Oh my god. Okay, so...
The one thing I haven't seen since the pandemic started is Deadpool with the boombox, so I think the pandemic got them all.
Oh no. Oh, the poor Deadpool.
Oh no. A name.
That's true. That's a sad but true observation.
I don't know if you guys can say, or can you talk about anything upcoming you've got on the go?
You looked out; it just got announced.
Yeah, we just announced our next book is tentatively going to be Brave and the Bold. We just sort of started. We're at the very beginning of the project. And,
cool.
But we just had Batman One Bad Day, this Riddler thing that came out, and went to a third printing, so we're really happy about that. And
nice.
But the new thing is we just did the Riddler, so we're gonna do a little Joker thing, the two of us, and see if we just can't make the Joker scary. That's all it is. Well, it's a challenge to both. Neither of us find comics to be scary. Yeah. Mitch is a huge horror fan. I'm not, because I find horror to be scary. And so we set a challenge if we could actually make a comic that was scary.
But we both also agree we've never read a comic that has scared us.
Yes, that's right. So we're trying to do that. We don't know if we're going to succeed, but we're trying.
Well, that's awesome. Congrats. I'm excited about that. Yeah. Thanks for letting me know. Clearly I missed it, but here we are.
It was literally 2 days ago.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I was in transit. I was traveling. No, that's great. Well, listen, Mitch and Tom, hey, thanks so much for joining me and being on. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Cheers.